Hey, what's up, my friend Mike Robertson here. And today I want to answer one of the most common questions I get about program design. And that is, how often should I progress exercises? Now, the unfortunate answer for you is it depends. And this is something that it took me many years to figure out, probably longer than I'd care to admit. But quite frankly, I used to program everything in like 4-week blocks. So at 4 weeks, they're going to lunge. The next 4 weeks, they're going to do a walking lunge. The week after that, they're going to do some other activity. And one thing that I learned over the years is not every client responds in that way. Really became clear when I was working with one of my distance clients. He came in about once a month, and we'd worked together for a year or two, and finally he said, hey, look, I appreciate the progression. I appreciate the fact that we're working towards bigger movement patterns and more complexity, but it takes me like 6 to 8 weeks before I really feel like I've mastered a movement, so could we take longer? So that was really refreshing for me to get that feedback from that client. So, you know, if you're working with a Gen Pop population, maybe it's going to take them longer, and maybe you really need to hammer some of those basics time and time again before you give them a more complex activity. Now, on the flip side of that, if you work with high-level athletes, I've got a handful, like, yeah, I write a 4-week program, but I know full well that I may only do one activity for like 2 weeks. And then I'm ready to immediately go on to something more complex, something more dynamic, something that maybe incorporates more momentum. So it all comes down to knowing the client, the athlete, or the population that you're working with. If somebody moves incredibly well, they're a fast learner, they understand their body and your cues, you can probably progress them very quickly. On the flip side, if you're working with a Gen Pop population, or maybe people that just haven't had as much exposure to the gym, chances are you're going to have to slow them down and probably really hone in on some of the bigger, finer points to make sure that they're doing things the way that you want. So there's no tried and true recipe. Cater the activity and the program to the person standing in front of you, and I guarantee you're going to be more successful.